We have Straight Talk with this man right here, our special contributor, Steve Harvey. And this morning, the man whose relationship book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, has been on the New York Times bestseller list 34 weeks.
So happy. Put your hands together. Send the child to college.
And that's what we're trying to do. He's going to talk to us about something that also hits close to home for him, Stepfamilies. As a father to 4, stepfather to 3, he and his beautiful wife, Marjorie, have faced many of the issues that arise when families are blended. And joining us this morning to share his do's and don'ts. And he will right after this.
This is what's called a blended family.
There's 12-year-olds, Lori and Winton. Then there's teens, Jason and Steve Jr. 27-year-old twins, Carly and Brandy. And Morgan, who's away at school. 3 are Marjorie's kids, and 4 are Steve's from previous marriages.
These are my sons. These are my daughters. These are her sons. These are her daughters. And that's the way we operate around here.
When we first got together, I said I want all the kids to live with us. Not just my children, your children, but I need all of our children here.
The 4 minor children had no option. They were here. We didn't ask them how they felt about it, nothing. She all the time tells the kids, this is not a democracy.
It's a dictatorship in our house.
He's dad to all, and the proof is in the laughter.
This is the Brady family in brown.
Story of a man named Steve.
Cannot let some people on TV. As soon as you let them on TV, they start embarrassing their father.
A lot of laughter and a lot of love in that household, Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you again for coming back. We have some couples here that you're going to impart your knowledge on. But first, you know, 7 under one roof. How do you all make it work, you and Marjorie?
4 is actually under one roof. The 2 27-year-olds live in an apartment around the corner, way around the corner, because they have real ideas of what adulthood is about, and it don't match mine anymore. So they've been put out. The 22-year-old is away at college, actually up here in New York. So it's 4 minors in the house. You know, first thing we did, though, you know, we don't use the term stepchildren. I never referred to my youngest daughter as my stepdaughter. She's my daughter, she's my son, because I don't want them to feel alienated when I introduce them. You know, that doesn't work in everybody's house. You know, everybody got to make their own decisions, but in our house, we never use the term step. I'm not their stepdad, I'm their dad. You know, I'm making it happen for you every day. You know, let's not forget that. You know, stepdad, that's big check. I think I deserve to be dad, you know. So, I mean, we just created that. That's just the one thing we make sure we do.
All right, well, let's get to the 2 couples here. Charlene and Jay, you're from Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
All right,
yes.
so you have 4 children, total 4 children, 2 each from a previous marriage.
Yes.
Right.
So tell us about your family and what's your question to Steve?
Well, I have 2 daughters, and she has a daughter and a son, and they're intermixed in ages, and they range from 16 down to soon to be 12.
All teenagers.
So, yeah.
Prayer works.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but our issue is more how when you're blending a family.
How do you get them to align? Because some of their ages do intermingle. So the youngest is no longer the baby of the family.
okay.
The oldest is no longer the oldest, and somebody's stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
How do you help them adjust to
I mean,
that realignment?
I guess there's no really one way to do it, but you know, one of the things that happened at our house is we created this system we have called accountability partners. You know, like the youngest one in my family is not the youngest anymore. So youngest in her family became a little bit up in the scale, and then the one that was the oldest is now in the middle. And that's where the real problem is, because when they can't be the number 1 child, the big head honcho, and all of a sudden there's a new head honcho, you got a problem. So we give, like the 2 older ones, we have certain things that they can do that the younger ones can't do, and it kind of builds a bond between those 2, you know, and it helps out. The young kids usually go along with it pretty good because they gain a lot of allies in the relationship. You know, they get a big brother, a new big sister, you know, they get somebody else, you know, they can go to and get stuff from, so they kind of cool, so.
Accountability part. I like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that will work?
What type of? I think that would work. But are there specific activities that you've used for the older?
Well, I mean, you know, like we got two 12-year-olds
Okay.
who reach 12 at different ages, and we got two 18-year-olds who reach 18 at different times, too. So we kind of make them accountable for each other so nobody feels like they're the lesser of the two, you know, like at homework time, because they're both in the same class, the same school, you know, kind of check each other a little bit instead of you always telling
But
her
yours
what
are
to
all
do.
there at the same time.
Yeah.
Say,
Yeah.
mine are only there every other weekend. So in 2 years, we've actually only had 90 days approximately
All
where
6
they've
of us
all been together. So it's a little bit different. So it's
Oh,
not
so
as
you got
easy.
kids come over every now
Right.
and then.
Mine come every other weekend. And
Oh, yeah.
hers are there all the time. So it's
Yeah,
the
you got your
dynamic
hands
is, I
full.
like the idea.
Oh yeah. We can go on and kill this conversation. You got somebody coming from another house with another set of rules.
Right.
Yes.
And
right.
you got another set of rules going on at your house.
Exactly.
That's exactly
That's
our
our
question.
question.
Yeah. See, that was one of the problems we had in the beginning until I got custody of my youngest son. So we had some differences going on there, you know. That's a tough one, man. I mean, you know, there's no set answer to this
Right.
because, you know, these kids, you know, they've got their ideas of their own. You know, these kids are really bright nowadays. They get educated on the internet. You don't know that, but the internet is powerful.
That's
But
right. You
lists
got a real
do
big
work. I mean, we've been
Oh,
working
yeah.
on a list which we call the basic rules of cooperative living, and we're sort of
And they-
together we're figuring out what those ought to be, and then I think we're going to post them
Well, you
in our
should,
house.
yeah, you should. You
yeah.
should share that with others. We're going to get to your question in a moment because we've also had a lot of people that have been emailing Steve, and this is a really good question and one that you may face at some point. Gretchen Morales of Clinton, New Jersey, and she wants to know, Steve, is it the right move to disengage when a young teen had stated that they will never consider you a parent? Disengage from them.
Well, I mean, believe it or not, I've seen that in a little bit at my house too, because we had, you know, we've actually had some therapy sessions about it. They were self-imposed, but I don't have money for a doctor, but I'll just sit you down and we'll have a therapeutic moment. But I just informed them that, you know, if you disengage, you know, I can disengage too. So why don't you take off them Air Jordans I bought you and take that sweatshirt off, and let's see how you feel naked. Talking to me as the person you're going to disengage, because you can't disengage me when I'm making it happen for you. So unless you want to go to school naked and ride on that yellow bus naked with the other kids, and I suggest you start adapting to some of these rules around here. I mean, at one point in time, you know, at the end of the day, you're the adult and this is the child.
We were visiting about this earlier, and it was kind of like if you went to your boss and said, I don't think you're going to be my boss today. It just doesn't work out. So it's like, you're right, I'm not your mom, but I'm the boss of the house, and these are the rules, and this is what we're going to have to do.
These
so
are the
we
rules
can
of
have
the
some
household.
harmony.
Right.
Gail, and let me introduce you. You're Gail and Stephanie from
Yes.
Oklahoma City, and explain your situation, your family situation.
Well, Gil has an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old from his previous marriage, and we just had a baby 7 weeks ago. 7 weeks
congratulations.
yesterday. Thank you. Wow. And we have the situation of we call them the boys. I don't use the step label
Right.
either. We call them the boys, and the boys come and live with us every other weekend, or you know, if it's a holiday time, you know, whatever the parenting schedule is, and we have sometimes struggles with different sets of rules and expectations in our household as in the other household.
Right.
And it's not that our household has the right set, it's just a different
They're
set.
different
Yeah,
set of rules,
absolutely.
but at the same time, these are the rules of our household. So when they are living with us, these are our rules, and let's abide by them, and that's the way it goes.
Right.
That's
It'll be
what you were
the
saying.
same set of rules
Yeah.
that the 7-week-old, whenever he's old enough to,
Right.
you know, participate in
Consistency.
that.
You know, I mean,
Consistency.
I think that's a problem with a lot of families. I mean, you know, we don't have a lock on this thing at our house. We got a lot of challenges here, you know, that
Sure.
we have to deal with constantly. And that
You've got
was,
a lot of challenges, especially with the number of different children.
Yeah, but
So-
you know, so I've seen the situation of when you come here, you've been doing it like this for 2 weeks with your mom.
Sure.
Then when you come here, you think it's going to happen here. Well, these are the rules over here. And, you know, they just got to line up. You know, at one point in time, you know, if you, the way I do it is, and it may not work for everybody, but hey, look, I stay fast to the rules. They don't change because
Right.
you're here visiting. Eventually, somebody's got to catch up because this can't keep being uncomfortable for us. You know, I love you, man. I love you. I really do. I love you with all my heart. But when you come here, this is the way we do it over here. You know?
Every time, it has to be the same every single time. Otherwise, they'll try to push those rules and see if they're going to change.
Yeah, those rules there's the
it's-
attempt to massage those rules to see, well, maybe this time I can break
it'll
them
work.
down.
Maybe
Yeah.
Get
this
away with
time-
as much as they can.
But,
you know,
it's the same every single
always
time.
seems to work. I know Marjorie said dictatorship, but you have meetings. I mean, you let them have a say,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
not necessarily a vote.
Oh, we give them a say. You can say anything you want. Now, when you through talking?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what's going to happen.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, loved hearing from you, though. You guys are great.
Yeah.
We'll consider input, but at the end of the day, for our household anyway, we make the choices. You know.
I think that's great. That's how you do it. We
Well,
don't
thank
even
you.
let them have input.
Thank you, and the way you all talked amongst yourselves. You should post that and let that. Steve, thank you.
Just gotta
As always,
post it.
keep your questions coming to Steve Harvey at
Wow, this is
abcnews.com.
too much fun.